Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, microphone check. Which microphone is that? Hey. Hello, everybody. I am just getting the hang of this new configuration here. I better put wrong device set up as my mic slash auxiliary. One over. Let's see which microphone. And check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check, microphone check. That seems much better. Let's see. Check, microphone check, double check, triple check. Pardon me, folks, I'm just trimming up my stream a little tiny bit. Hopefully we'll have some chatters in here today. I don't know if anybody's going to want to come chat with me about CryptoCrush, but that's what we're doing here today, so I hope that you will join me in this. This is a project that I'm really having a great time working on. I'm just trimming up my stream a little tiny bit. So anyway, CryptoCrush, it's a new kind of game that I'm kind of working on. Let's see if it kind of works. Let's see, what do we want there? We'll see. Maybe a little late. First, let's look at the transform. You guys are going to have to listen to me mutter just a tiny little bit while I get my stream configuration just so. Let's see. What do we mainly want is we want to crop out the vast majority of the left-hand side of the screen. So let's assume we're going to do 1920 there. Oh, that's way too much. Nope, that's perfect. Fantastic. Then we're just going to crop the top right off. Or maybe crop a little more of the top right off. There we go. That way you guys don't have to see my bookmarks bar, a lot of which does not relate to CryptoCrush. And then the bottom bar will also remove a little bit there. Excellent. Now you guys don't have to worry about my icons. Fantastic. And we're just focusing here on CryptoCrush. Okay, and away we go. So yeah, this is the game. It's currently being quite a problem. We'll see what I can get going at the moment. I'm over on CryptoCrush Praxis, so if you're interested in checking out the game, this is our most recent changelog, and let's just get the and here we go. This is CryptoCrush RPG. Here are the game features. If you're interested, you can always just take a look at any of the stuff that we're doing. Start your journey button will take you right to us. At the moment, the game is just for fun. We will eventually be bumping it over to a play-to-earn model, but for the moment, it's just for fun, and there will always be a free server. That way, we can offer the game to people who are not interested in cryptocurrency. So you can crush crypto even if you don't like crypto. I don't know who would want to do that, but those who choose to do so will be helping us by testing our game. These are our cryptocurrencies: Tungsten, Orichalcum, and Mithril. They're just the first of many. This game's built to thrive. It's about trading coins and more. You take actions in real time, but believe me when I say we are hoping to add a really fun three-dimensionality to this, and we would love to get the funding to add that three-dimensionality to this. And if you want to fund us, you can fund this channel just by offering me a bit or a tip or a subscription or something along those lines. If I'm still monetized, I'll double check. It's been a while since I've streamed. But if I do happen to still be monetized, it sure would be beneficial to me and to what I do if you would help me out. And who am I and what do I do? Well, I'm Matt, and I do CryptoCrush. So thanks for asking. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a video capture here. Oof, maybe not the video capture I would hope for. That would be one way of showing off the office, but instead, we're going to deal with the tablet and the various traumas that go into that. Wow, this is taking a little while and using up my resources, so I won't be surprised if the stream's a little choppy, and I hope you won't be either. If you'd like to make the stream less choppy, obviously, there are a lot of ways you could help out. Not least of which, just checking out our game. Here are some of the cool options. At the moment, we just have building cottages, but we're adding everything in. That's what I'm doing today. This stuff works, though. Doesn't do much, but it works. And down here, if you look deep enough, you can find me here at Praxis server. Yep, I'm Praxis, or Lugrit, depending on which hat I happen to be wearing. My music hat or my game dev hat. And today, it's game dev. Mostly. I'll be playing a little music, but I probably won't be doing so on stream. We'll see. Anyway, let's see if the party system is working. Probably not. Ooh, not currently in a party, and then error loading party status. You're initializing lunar AI. Well, that's a problem. So we got all sorts of trouble showing up over here. Cost. I think that's probably the one that we're going to need to focus on. Oof. See, now, immediately I notice a couple of problems there. This is just too much info in one sheet. So we'll immediately want to start looking at that. Create party tables, test tables, start, join. This is all good stuff. All right, well, it may not be the most active thing in the world. Sometimes I'm just going to be bouncing it around to the various features of CryptoCrush, trying to figure out, for example, why this energy pop-up isn't working, why the old energy system just didn't move over correctly. Sometimes you'll see this is the character sheet. This part I actually managed to get almost working today. I've got charisma responding properly, which I needed to test the party system. Skills are not in yet, and I am not doing any more features for the moment, just until I get everything that's already in working. Here are our base resistances panel. That should be fun. We got to check and see whether or not resistances are affected by advancement points. Advancement was the big thing today. This is character alignment, kind of a fun part of the game that we're going to be adding in. And right now the only trait is that I, as an admin, can change my avatar. Normally, characters are stuck with the avatar that they choose during character creation. Mostly, we may, we may allow some leeway on that later. And back at the party management system, looks like I've got that open twice. No need for that. Hey, this one actually has. This is the only one with the lunar phases menu working properly. All right. There are a lot of moons in CryptoCrush. Oh, yes, excellent. That is fantastic news. So, party, empty, general adventuring group, that's fantastic. It's open. Members, praxis leader, fantastic. Do I have the oomph here to change it to a band? Party type, group type change to band? Absolutely amazing. Just great work. We're going to push that. And it's just that easy. Wow. I'm glad I decided to put the stream up right now, because that was a really good moment. We just managed to push an update. So let's push this, and hopefully this doesn't expose my credentials. Excellent. Update the version number. Push that change log. Ensure. Fantastic. Well, I'm just absolutely pleased. Okay, pop over to Discord. All right. All right. Well, I do hope somebody pops in. I'm just gonna keep for once I'm gonna keep my stream dashboard correctly open. Alright, folks, I'm not trying to be a whiner. Oh, hell. Oh, excuse me. I'm not trying to be a whiner, but I can't get my camera to work. Really, I know that's a common myth that people put forth, but I literally cannot get my camera to work with this new setup. I guess I could switch back to another setup, but there's nobody in here, so it's no big deal. Loser should do that. Oh no, they're gonna attack us with donkey. Sorry, I'm doing outreach as well. I apologize. I'm wearing 18 hats right now. It's quite heavy on the head. Yeah, that's cool. I can dig it. That's what I've been waiting for. Neat. Okay. Anyway, let's spam the chat. Well, pardon my grunting and groaning, folks. I'm just, I'm doing other stuff here. Nothing unseemly, I assure you, other than being 40. Which is unseemly in its own sort of way. Now, what is that sound? Is that a loop? I feel like I'm getting some sort of sound loop. Well, pardon my grunting and groaning, folks. I'm just... Oh, there it is. It's me. Why, it's me. The silly man is coming from inside the game dev studio. There we go. Muted. And this is nice and muted as well. Fantastic. Well, I do hope somebody will pop by and say hi. I know that it's hard to get exposure in this cold, cold world of ours, and that everybody's out there trying to get a hit, so I understand. Managing moderators, that's great news. All right. Hello, and I hope you like game dev, because that's all I'm doing for a while. Ooh, the oh, hey, now that's kind of cool, though. That I like. Alright, this might work. Neat, folks. Well, somebody come in here and say something to me, but until you do, I promise I've got stuff I got other stuff I can be doing. And what can I be doing? Well, I can fix this monstrosity that I've created. And I think it's a pleasant monstrosity, at least. So what did we do? We got back to game working, and a 1, and a 2, and it works. Great job. Fantastic. Next up, we're just going to look over at the party screen. Parties are working. I am over the moon on this one. I'm going to leave it where it I'm going to leave it where it lay, and move on to, let's check out actions. Now, actions obviously are the heart of the game, so if they're broken, then I cannot possibly, in good conscience, ship this thing. So that means I don't get to push to test, and that means nobody else gets to play this because I'm on my own dev server, which other people cannot generally find. All right. They could if they tried, but you know. And I hope you will try, and I hope you will play. We are pre-token generating event. That's right. We have not generated our actual token yet. But if you want to generate a, let's call it a test token, we put in a special thing called Pyrite. Pyrite is just for you if you don't want to spend any money. But it is a usable object within the game. It allows you to test the cryptocurrency mechanics on the Sepolia network. All you have to have is a MetaMask wallet. At the moment, we mostly support MetaMask. You can try other things, and then when it breaks, you can send me a bug report. But until then, mostly we're working just with good old MetaMask, as it is very popular and extensible and easy for me to use. But in some cases, we use Phantom. You can connect various types of wallets and get multi-chain rewards. That's about all you can get at the moment, but later there will be airdrops. I absolutely assure you, there will be just big old airdrops. So, by all means, join us. It's early in the cycle. It's time to join. So if you join now, probably it'll be the best thing you can hope for. Now, I've got to update my Element client. Folks, CryptoCrush does use Element, which makes it extremely extensible. You can log into the CryptoCrush chat room from your phone or from really any device. It's amazing. I love Matrix and I love Element, and I'm really glad to a friend who I will not name. Let's just say that his frog avatar is fairly well known in certain circles, and he's the reason that I knew what Matrix was, though he does not know that. Weird, right? Anyway, let's move forward. I learned about a surprising number of things just by keeping my ear to the ground. I listen to the world around me. That's mostly, if I have any advantage in life, it's simply that. So I have a good time with it, and I do appreciate everybody who has a good idea that I, let's say, borrow. Anyway, speaking of borrowing things, the Seasons thing came back, and I love it. I rarely am proud of myself in terms of a design thing. I think a lot of what we do as game developers is really derivative, but this makes me so absolutely happy. I really can't describe it. Right now we're in the season of Vernal. Vernal is a beautiful season. Let me just go ahead and go to the guides page. Everything in CryptoCrush is covered. Oops, was covered by a guide, which we broke. Dang it. Well, anyway, the seasons are just a particularly interesting part of the game. Obviously, every world has seasons, but our world is big, and it's much bigger than Earth, so it has more seasons. It has a nice long year, actually. It's got an 800 day, in-game day year, but that rounds out to a lovely 200 out-of-game day year. Earth days, I guess you would say. And so I think that will just provide players with kind of a sense of immersion and something super fun. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This game unabashedly and unashamedly makes use of generative AI. I am sorry if generative AI offends you. It is very helpful to me. I benefit from it greatly. I love that you can say kind of vibe to a robot and it just knows what you're talking about. So anyway, this is the Praxis server. I'm Praxis, also known as Locrian, also just simply known as Matt, or Matt Mitchum. I'm a public figure, and I do not mind being doxxed. Don't worry about doxing me. I live in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada, and would actually probably be quite happy to meet you if you wanted to talk about CryptoCrush or CryptoCrush investment. I am going to be looking out, I'm going to be putting on my vestments and going out for investment pretty soon, to try to get some people to put a little bit of rice in my bowl here. I think I've created quite a nice bowl, and I hope that somebody puts a little bit of rice in it. Anyway, back to work. So what do we have? We have a lot of broken stuff. Looks like the guide page is broken. Let's start there. So we're getting there. A lot of the game will look a lot better once I put back all the features that I broke, fixing the parties page. It's one of those 2 steps forward, 1 step back situations at the moment. I'd say really 3 forward and 2 back. I hate to keep banging on the little banging the tin pan, but man, it would be great if I could just get like a few $1,000s for cursor credits. So if you know anybody who's got a few extra $1,000 and wants to buy a developer some cursor credits and wants to be involved in an RPG, I am here, and I will be here because it's much slower when you don't have the max mode. So this would go a lot faster and be a lot better if I could afford the better tools, and so I'll be out here shilling for that for a while, and definitely going to be trying to spend every penny that I can spare. In fact, I might just bump up into max mode for a second, because this is one of those complicated problems. It's a lot like working with gear shift. I really feel like sometimes you just have to drop it into the harder, more expensive mode for just a minute or two. The key is learning when to turn it off so that you don't burn all your credits, which goes amazingly quickly. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I can run a symposium on using cursor as a... I'll be honest, I don't think I was a particularly good developer about 3 months ago, but I love this. I'm taking to it, in my opinion, like a duck to water. I certainly have a great time doing it. And so what I'm trying to do right now is just monetize and, make a business out of my desire to use cursor all day long. So I'll just briefly mention, in case anybody's listening, that I am available for hire. I like working on stuff. And so if you have any sort of engine mechanics, anything, not really a physics expert, although I'd be happy to break into that, I certainly wouldn't bill myself as being like super good at it. But I can do all sorts of mechanical stuff, databases, get your mathematics rolling along the way you'd like them to roll in all sorts of ways that you might not imagine, with super fun, various types of modular curves, I guess I'd call them. I'm not a licensed mathematician, but sometimes the math I have done has been entertaining to players. And that's really all that matters, isn't it? So let's see if we fix that guide page. Because I do love the guides page. Oh yes. Easily one of my favorites. Let's see. Where is the seasons guide? That's okay, this is very much a work in progress as well. Yep, so just bopping along and bug fixing, but that NFT minting guide, that's certainly quite useful. Lets you know just how exactly our Solidity contract works and all of that kind of stuff. We are trying to be super and completely open about this. So we're not scamming anybody. This isn't a scam. I am a known entity, and I make video games, and I care a lot more about video games in general than I do about money. Otherwise, I'd probably have a very different career, given the overall, let's just say, lack of commercial success for the majority of my stuff. But here you go. If you're if you're interested in anything that we're doing, I have attempted to use generative AI's unique capacity to extrapolate in order to just really make sure that no aspect of this design has gone undocumented. So there we go. There are the 7 races of CryptoCrush currently. The bonus stats, natural resistances, how starting bonuses work. If you like building characters, then you will certainly find that this game supports that. I love building characters. I'm the kind of person who has spent more time in the character creation element of many RPGs than I have actually playing them. So you might, if you're that same kind of person, you might really enjoy this. I built something that satisfies my need for complexity, but that I hope has enough simplicity in practical terms. Oops, we've got a little bit of a font problem there. Here's the XP distribution system. Now, that's a pretty important part of our game, and I do hope that players will enjoy having a multi-class system that both respects your choices and takes note of what you're doing. And we're really going to expand on that as funding and time allow, because I have a lot of ideas about character advancement. Really too many for any one game. So I'm just sort of picking and choosing from old projects and just trying some ideas that never quite made it to production out in ways that players can experience. So again, this is all for the player, it's for the community. I don't make games in a vacuum. Alas, hopefully I will not be relegated to the kind of sad fate of just making AIs that play my games. I would do that when all is said and done. While I would hope for human players, I guess in the end I could just program, be a programmer or do some other job and just spend my free time doing this, but I sure would rather do it as a vocation. And so I'm putting in my bid. This is my job application, effectively, to be a video game developer. I hope that people like it. I hope that they see it. I know that that's actually the hardest part of this, is just getting anyone to ever actually interact with any of these things. So here I am, and I will stay here for probably the next 40-ish days. I cannot imagine that I will be able to sustain it much longer than that. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys will help me with that, and with your support I might be able to actually last longer than about 40 more days, which is my current runway for this project as an independent business, and I'm going to be totally honest about that. Otherwise I will have to get a day job, and it doesn't really bother me to say that. Like, I believe that things do have to make money really to be functional. So here are some of the more hopefully intricate and immersive qualities of this game, right? Like, this is the common system, the uncommon rarity system, yeah? So we have basic items with standard properties. Those are going to represent, in most cases, with things that are affected by the rarity system, such as pets or spells or items. In most cases, common items are going to represent about 8-ish% of the things. And that is, this is the probability if you're just talking about nothing being a probability. In situations where, something is assured, like rolling for crafting or buying a sheep from us, there's no chance when you buy a sheep from us, for $2.50, it should be noted, very inexpensive. If you buy these NFTs from us, you automatically roll on a completely different table that ensures that the minimum you can get is a common sheep. And that's actually, if I just pop right over here, yes, this is the rat rolling, the Rattributes page, as it's called around here. And this just shows you your basic chance to get a rat when you roll. Now, a lot of things can affect this. You can use bait, which increases your chance of getting a rare rat. You can have certain attributes, such as perception, I believe it's perception, intelligence, and dexterity, that will allow you to catch a better rat, or have a higher chance of catching a rat. But you see, if we bounce over here to the sheep page, now we see that no sheep isn't an option, because if you pay us for a sheep, you're going to get a sheep. You'll have a 89% chance of getting a common sheep. Sorry, that's just the way the game is played. But you'll have an 8% chance of getting an uncommon or greater sheep. As you can see here, the best of the best are truly, truly unlikely to occur, but are guaranteed to occur before it closes. So because of the maximums here, once all of the common sheep are gone, while it will be very, very... actually, no, with sheep, once all the common sheep are gone, you're guaranteed to get a rare one. The fact of the matter is, if people keep buying them, all of the good sheep will eventually sell out. I do want this to be a fun experience for people. So if they're paying me money, then they're going to get something for it. And so that's what this part is about. This is the premium NFTs, yeah. And then over here are the ones that over here are the attributes, and these are the ones that we will be using just to test the system, and also to make sure that players understand that the NFT system is not locked behind a crypto wall. You don't have to have you don't have to give us any money at all to mint a godlike rat. If you should get lucky on your rat roll and get the best rat in the game, it's yours. Have at it. It goes in your wallet. You can trade it on secondary networks. That's really none of our concern. That's not our business, not our problem. We do not attach royalties to these rats. So, of course, while we enjoy having money, and we would appreciate it, all the money we're looking for we get up front from certain things within the game. This game does include, for example, a crypto token. And so that should cover our needs. I have built the game around the premise that it can't bankrupt itself. It won't allow you to do anything that will cost it more money than I put into it. So I will put a certain amount of crypto money into the game, a very small amount. I mean, really very small. And that's sort of the primer. And then, after that, anything that functions within the game that costs a great deal of server resources will also cost something in terms of player payments. It's truly the most micro of the micro payments, but we'll go into the tokenomics and all sorts of other stuff. I need to actually get back to fixing things. So let's just double check and see that this guides page is 100% good. We're just going to do day, night cycle guide, fantastic lunar phases guide. That's what we were looking for. Excellent. So currently, these are the 5 phases of a day in the city of Arapal, on the planet of Xerill. Pardon me, I am not an expert at pronunciation, but I do like syllables and phonemes. And so the planet's name is Xerill. And Xerill is rather large, but it has a similar to Earth rotational pattern because, and I'll be honest here, one time I ran a role-playing game and I tried to use a non-24-hour time pattern within the game, and the players actively revolted and told me it was the worst thing they'd ever experienced in a game. And so I'm just not doing that again. That's a little too much. It throws people off kilter a little too much. It's too immersive for a game of this type. I was thinking about having a smaller sun. I think, in fact, I will probably have Xerill have 2 suns, but one of them will be an extremely small neutron-ish sort of situation, just to make it all magical cool. But that's just me, and I've been playing a lot of Satisfactory, so certainly some aspect of that will have influenced my decision making. Anyway, here's the enemy behavior patterns. Really bad font color there, but we've got hostiles who prefer to attack during the day, and remnants that prefer to attack during the night. I do like to be very honest about my influences, so I will say that Rise to Ruins, I believe it's right. Yeah, Rise to Ruins, influenced me strongly there. I really like the way that they break their monsters and their tower defense game up into 3 really distinct and noteworthy factions. I decided to go with 2 for now, but this is just within the city of Arapal, which is our relatively limited scope starting scenario. I didn't want to overbid on a map. The city of Arapal has 121 locations, tiles, each with approximately 30 addresses or sublocations within them. So think of Aurapol as a miniature Lankmar, or something along the lines of, say, a water deep, maybe even all the way down to as small as a Baldur's Gate. It's not a big city. It was never a big city. It was a small but very rich town full of mages. So adventurers get to start wandering around there, and we've added the gate guards, some very fun individuals who you can talk to about possibly getting out of the city. And this is all timed to match my development speed, to be perfectly honest, because I can only go so fast. Alrighty, what else do we have that's fun? We've got the Lunar Phases Guide. These are the 7 moons of Xiliao. Xiliao. Man, I'm going to have to look that one up. That's Maeve, the moon of evil. She's a mean lady. Suki, moon of chaos. Ahriman, moon of destruction. Fena, the neutral moon, the normal moon. 28-day cycle, just like the Earth moon. One little aspect of normalcy there to keep things from being too wacky. Chandra, the moon of creation. Yuliang, moon of order. And Mani, the moon of good. Moon of good is on a very quick cycle. Ahriman, moon of destruction, almost as fast. These are the lunar phases, in which each of them is increasing or decreasing in their influence. They have all sorts of functions and effects, which we're going to let players discover in the course of the game, and I do hope everybody enjoys just that, because it's a story I've been wanting to tell for a really long time. So, this is the season guide. This is planet Xiliao, about approximately 6 times Earth's diameter. It's in the upper temperate zone of solar system, I guess is one way of saying it. It's most of the planet is mostly habitable with magic. The rest of it becomes quickly settled. The game day is about 6 real hours, which is 24 game hours. So time passes a little bit faster. I've experimented with various timescales in games like Zomboid, and I believe that 4x is approximately the speed we want this game going. So here are the 7 seasons: vernal, estival, serotinal, autumnal, hibernal, nocturnal, and Shishira. Shishira? Somebody will have to correct me on that one. This is the complete time cosmology. Got the season system, the lunar system, and the day-night system. This just adds a level of combinatorial complexity that I think will actually be... it will approach the infinite in practical terms for game design. So, and if that makes sense to you, please subscribe to my channel. Not many people understand even 4 out of 12 of the words that I say. All right, here we go. Crafting system guide. We already did that one. Oh, right. So the quality system is extremely important when it comes to items. We're going to actually stack these 2 quality systems together. So the joke of this game is that I found like Diablo to be a little too easy, a little too simple to understand in some of this stuff. And we're 20 or 30 years past most Diablo style interfaces now, so I was just going to double up using our commonality system, which applies to everything, right? But the quality tiers tend to only apply to crafted things and are strongly affected by your character's skills and attributes, if you're crafting. Or if you're looting things, strongly affected by the danger level of the dungeon or monster encounter. So you could, for example, get a worthless legendary item. It's a mythical item of great power, but it's, shoddy as hell now. Or maybe a shabby, very rare. Or a masterwork common item. Just a really, really good version of something that's otherwise pretty pedestrian. So, I don't know. I don't know if this will work. It's just a grid system. It creates a potential for variation among equipment builds, which in a game that includes some element of PvP, I think will be nice, because it will make it impossible really to guess your opponent's build. There will just be too many options. You'll have to exercise some sort of critical thinking and some sort of comprehensive combat design, right? Because you won't just be able to assume your opponent's build and try to match it and defeat it. I'm just trying to add a little bit of game depth here for people who are steeped in game theory and getting bored of the same shit. Pardon me. Recipe selection. Choose a recipe based on available materials. Okay, yeah. Crafting's not in. I'll be honest. Crafting's not in the game yet. So we'll see what actually happens with that. There's been a lot of conjecture. All right, well, that's been me chattering about things to an empty room for a while. Always the most fun part of being on Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and continue to develop. What's next? All right. Just still getting that persistent energy bar. What's the problem? I definitely saw a couple of pretty bad errors there. Manifest, that's normal. Yeah. Lunar AI. Okay. Alright, well, we'll fix that first, see if that helps. Over we go to see what the robot came up with regarding I guess we'll do what we must here, but that's not very good. Just a quick reminder, please do check in on CryptoCrush.com. Alrighty, what's next? Just gonna double check. Alright, real quick, folks, I gotta check in on a meeting, but I will be right back. All right, and we're just neck deep in JavaScript errors right now. Well, that almost worked, except we've got 2 season readouts, which is, better than none. And I don't like the way it's displaying there, but we'll work. Robots just don't like 7s very much, so far for in my experience. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't know who that is. Let's see what's going on with this double season drop down. Oof. I might be overloading my poor cursor right now. See if there's anything I can shut down. Excuse me, sorry, I forgot about that. Neat. Hey, that works. So yeah, these are rats, attributes, important stuff. To be honest, here we go. Here's our tokenomics, some of our ideas for what we're going to sell and how we're going to fund this mess. If you're interested in combat mechanics, here's sort of a basic readout of the duel system. I'm about to have to rewrite this in its entirety because it mostly did not take into account the new attributes. So, you know how it is. Just kind of endlessly refactoring and updating. Let's make sure this page works. Looking good. Excellent. Very, very happy with that. Reasonably happy with that. Nothing really to be happy or unhappy about with that part. My main complaint with this thing is just it's got a lot of dead space in it. And I think it would be a little more useful if it was spaced out a little better, a little more readable. Okay, cool. Let's see if we fixed the actions page. Not a bit, but I bet that's a caching issue. Also, it's not a huge deal, so we're going to come back around. We're going to circle back to that. And in fact, it was a caching issue. Great work. Okay, next. We really need to solve this energy issue. Oof. All right, folks. Well, do drop in and say hey if any of the things I've spoken about interest you on any level. I am here to discuss this project, and am avidly planning to push this thing. So I will be around. I will be back. I will be up and down and about working on this game, and looking forward to having people come in and say hey. Keyframe interval too high. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I might need to work on that. right, excellent. It looks like we're getting the energy system correctly wired back in. A lot of the changes that I made to it caused problems, but it is pleasant to see that our crystal bonuses are still working. One of the attributes that I raised, charisma. By raising my charisma, I raised my rage and acumen, and I'm getting a much better bonus out of that. Very neat to see the math working. Not so great to see the leftover chunks of comments sticking out there, but I guess we'll fix them. I'm just going to do a quick check around, make sure I didn't break any other features. Yes, excellent. We can still chat with Styg. Now, to truly chat with Styg, I have to open about 12 programs here. Let's see if we can get this working. And we just bust open our happy little LM studio here. Excellent. Alright, we've already learned the Scav class from Styg. He is really one of our first NPCs for learning new classes from. Alright, test. Hey, buddy. Are you there? We are loading DeepSeek. Awesome. It's hot loading DeepSeek. Oh, we're going to get a timeout, though. Running chat completion, 2 messages, accumulating tokens. Let's do it. It might make it. Styg's pretty brief. Yeah, excellent. I'm not sure if you folks can... Styg's probably my favorite character. I mean, I'm not saying he's my stand-in, but... his personality is a little bit taken from mine. Where can I get some quick, easy coins? How about Mayor Collins? Does he have any juicy coins at the moment? That's reasonably zippy, but I need to fine tune this thing. Yeah, I mean it's crunching. This is running off my video card right now. Oh, there we go. Wow. Alright, whatever. Weird. He's a little skitsy today. There are quite a few NPCs in the game already, and we're just adding more and more. So let's go talk to Cedric. Ooh, failed to move. Ouch. That's not good. Guess we have to do it manually. This is the local page in which we see all of our local stuff. Right now we're hanging out at the old churchyard. But we could go to the old church and talk to basically Styg's opposite, Xerill. Hey, Xerill. Did anyone write you a contact? I'm not sure if Xerill has a personality. I don't know if his AI has been installed. Oh, no, that's him. absolute awesomeness. Yeah, he's exactly who he's supposed to be. So all these characters are here just to tell stories and to provide all the things that normal RPGs provide with just a little flavor. There's God. Oh, God, no, Godric. No. You killed Godric, you monsters. At least Farah's doing okay. We'll have to figure out what's wrong with Godric. Excellent. I wonder if this works. All right, folks. Time to see if this works. Yeah, let's do it. I can't believe that still works. This is my favorite thing. We actually are at our token generating event, but it's pyrite. Fool's gold, the kids call it. And I just received 100 CryptoCrush pyrite tokens. Very, very nice. They are real. They go in my wallet. They're made of Sepolia F, and so they are not exchangeable currently for any actual money. They're made right here out of this test Ethereum. This is all on the test net. And if you want to come get some basically commemorative Sepolia coins, you can do so. You can still try to talk to Farah, but I think her dialogue's obscured, so another thing to fix. But back to actions. Will it load? Ooh, that was slow. What the hell happened there? Uh-oh. Oh, it's okay. We're getting 500 errors left and right. But most importantly, no, still did not fix this error. Sorry, I have to yell at the robot. Anyway, speaking of yelling at the robot, I have a couple of personal things I got to take care of. So I will be right back. Thanks for watching. We will return shortly. Check, mic check. Oh, cool. Hey folks, I'm going to take a short break and do something that I can't do on Steam without breaking the terms of service. I will be right back.